Hello, everybody. Welcome to Book Banter. Thank you so much for joining me. This is our first Book Banter of 2026. I'm very excited to be back doing these again with all of you. Um, Tonight, I will be talking with Tim Time. He is the author of The Book of Dirt. Um, I loved the title as soon as I heard it. Someone pitched it to me, and I was like, "The Book of Dirt. Tell me more." And here we are. That is how we got here. Literally me asking that question, and then the ball started rolling, and now we're here with Tim. We're also going to be joined by a musical guest, Dan Tyson. He wrote some songs to go along with the book. So we're going to have some music, we're going to have some reading, some conversation. And as always, if you have any questions for myself or Tim or Dan, please just type them in the comments and we will answer them during the event. So without further ado, I'm going to welcome Tim and Dan to Book Banter. Hi.
Good evening, Ray. Nice to meet you.
Yes, good to see you. I'm excited. Like, we've been talking about this for months, literally, and I'm very excited that you get to be the first episode of 2026, so that we have musical guests. So thank you so much for joining me.
Well, that's great. We appreciate you guys giving us a chance to launch Banter for 2026.
Of course. So the Book of Dirt. First of all, I have to say that is exactly how this happened. I don't know if your sister told you exactly how this happened, but we were sitting at a bar, as you do in New Orleans, and and she's like, "Oh, tell me about how's the bookstore going?" And I was telling her about the virtual event series here, and she's like, "Well, my brother wrote a book. It's called The Book of Dirt," and I was like instantly intrigued because the title, The Book of Dirt. I was like, okay, there's more to dig up with this, and that's why I asked her, and then we just kept talking about it, and here we are. So tell me, give us the elevator pitch. What is the Book of Dirt?
Okay, elevator first forward. The book in general is about a fellow whose wife asked him to do a favor to dig a hole, and she asked him to dig a grave. So he goes up into the woods behind his house on his family's property, and he dig a grave. Through the quiet work digging, he begins to remember things and begins to uncover and excavate his own memories. So that's kind of the overarching structure. And then those memories come to life. He tells little stories about when he was a kid and growing up and having kids, and the son goes off to war. And then also every other chapter tells you how to use a shovel, how to use a pick, a wheelbarrow, a digging bar. And in general, the theme of the book is that kind of work helps you quiet your mind, helps you hear yourself think, and it's really good for you in a lot of different ways. And in the end, you actually have something substantial and tangible that you built. Maybe it's a walking path, or you planted a tree or a garden or built a wall. So through my life earlier on, a lot of that kind of physical landscaping, asphalt work. And it wasn't until later that I realized some of the benefits of doing that kind of
thing. Did you, you did those for work. So that was, it started as, a job. And then as you realized you're doing it for yourself, that's when you really started to think about it in a different way?
Oh, definitely. When I was shoveling asphalt, I wasn't thinking about writing a book. I had lots of, come on, go. And later on, years later, when I had a house property, I had the opportunity to dig around on my property, and I was really good at it from having those in my asphalt work. But it was a totally different experience and environment. I was able to hear myself think, and when I was, I felt really good, and I had a sense of calm after spending the day digging.
Well, so now there's also music that goes along with the book. So Dan, who's very patiently sitting next to you, yes, tell us how that came about. How did we get music to go with the Book of Dirt?
Well, I'll start, and then Dan, you can. Dan and I have known each other since high school days, which I like to say was many million minutes ago. And even back then, I had a poem I had, and he wrote a song to it, and it was like the words and the music were just out there waiting for each other to get together. And it was just perfect.
Yeah, it was.
A lot of years passed. We really didn't do that until 2 years ago. And I sent Dan poems from this book, and he came back with a whole set of songs. I'll let you.
Right. Tim told me, well, I knew about the book, and Tim had told me about the poems that he had in the book. And he said, yeah, is it possible you could do something with it? He just sent me the words, and next thing you know, I was sitting there and the words come to me. You know, I got a song, and I really enjoyed doing it. It was it seems like the song just like came to me. The lyrics, I can relate to the lyrics, and so it was, I could get the feel for how it was, how they're supposed to be. Like the songs we're going to play, there's 3 songs we're going to do today, but there's some songs in there that are really heartfelt songs and really nice, beautiful songs, and they just came out of nowhere. It's like showed up on my doorstep.
Well, I'm excited to just kind of let's get into it. I mean, let's do the first. We have it kind of broken up for everybody who's watching. We have 3 different sections. So Tim and Dan Tim's going to read, and Dan is going to play. What is this? Tinkle Tinkle Little Star. Is that
Yes,
the first one?
First little story is called Tinkle Tinkle Little Star, or Johnny P's in the Teacup. I need you to dig a hole for me, she said quietly, and I could not. I nodded yes without a word. Well, this may be the hardest digging I've ever done, for she asked me to dig a grave. And today's the day. I will look on the property my family owns, up on the hill in the woods behind my house. Some of my ancestors are laid to rest up there. I want to find a bit of solitude for this grave. I'm looking for the right spot, a perfect piece of dirt to rest upon. I hope to find a clearing in the woods, caressed by a soft breeze, where the sun slowly dissolves the morning dew, and the shade of a nearby tree cools the afternoon heat. I seek a quiet niche in the woods where a poet would sit and daydream about lost love or honor, glory, and death. I'm searching for a place with a certain kind of timelessness to it, removed from the daily rush and hustle. After climbing the hill, I stopped for a moment to sit on a log and wipe my brow. The sound of water gurgling in a little stream nearby triggers a memory that bubbles up. Dark and full of wonder, his little eyes twinkle when I come into the room. His tiny pink wrinkled fingers reach for my calloused hand, wrapping around my finger and holding on, completing the father-son circuit. This is a moment of truth. This is a moment of love. A baby boy is a joy unrivaled for the father. So proud was I on the day he was born that before he had taken a single step, without having uttered a single word, he had stolen my heart. In any one moment, the babe is full and complete. Yet, from day to day, he changes. His eyes, nose, cheekbones, smile all change as his ancestors come marching through his features. One day he looks like Cousin Dick, the next day like Grandma Ida. But those are only relative resemblances, temporary manifestations, genetic ghosts, so to speak. Day by day he becomes himself and is unique. He has joined us. He is one of us. He is here. Now, babies really need very little. Kept in a room to be fed, changed, they would not die, but they would not really grow up. You see, a baby is a dry sponge that is born into a puddle. We are the puddle. He absorbs everything around him: sights, sounds, smells, temperatures, voices, movements, and moments. Love is food for his little soul. Most of all, he soaks up love. He sucks you in and you gladly give him your life. This is love, and it fills him up. Trit is still a baby in diapers, about 4 months old. Anna and I set him down on the rug to change his diaper. She puts her cup of tea down beside him, but not too close. He's gotten good at seeing and grabbing things lately. I hold out a small red rubber ball in front of him. He sees it immediately and stares at it for a long moment. His mind is searching for a matching image, but there is none. This is the first little red ball that Trit has ever seen, and so he stares at it with joy as it fills his mind. Like all humans, Trit is born with the great ability to grab something with his hand. Some say it's what sets humans apart from our fellow creatures. Some other creatures have hands. Of course, monkeys and chimps and apes do, along with rats, raccoons, giant pandas, and salamanders. They all have hands. But there are also a lot of paws, claws, and hoofs and fins in the world, not so many fingers. Ouch. A baby horse can walk hours after it's born, but it doesn't have hands. A mother horse will never hold her baby in her arms or hold out a red rubber ball for her baby to grab. The act of grabbing lies dormant for a while because a newly born baby does not have the motor skills to see something, reach out their arms, and grab it with their hands. Trit's desire to grab the ball was there before his eyes, arms, and hands could do it. His first attempts are clumsy. He cannot grab the little red ball. He flails at it, swinging his arms without precise control. Yet every once in a while, when his hand hits the ball, he focuses on it immediately. The baby brain's only mission is to learn from those moments and master the act. Trit soon masters the force of gravity. Before long, he is able to see, reach, and grab. I see, therefore I grab, says his existential baby self. As Trit lays on his back on the rug, our eyes meet. He smiles without reservation because he is simply glad to see me. I don't really get this from anyone else just for walking into a room. My baby boy reacts that way because I am one of the parts of his world that showers him with love, takes care of him, feeds him, pays attention to his every moment. His mother is first, I am next, and the rest of our family and friends create a cocoon of protection and nourishment that he needs to thrive all day and all night. So when he sees me, his eyes twinkle. He twinkles at me, I twinkle back, he twinkles, I twinkle. We are like stars. Woo! Suddenly, I hear the sound of water. I look down and Trit is peeing in a perfect arm right through the air and into the cup of tea. It looks like a cherub in a Roman fountain is twinkling and tinkling at the same time. Water, water everywhere, water, water in the air. Oh, no, I blurt out, and he smiles even more, and he's even more, and I'm laughing, and he's laughing. P.T. It's all the same to me. I drop a P in a cup of tea, making everything a little bubbly. P.T. It's all the same to me. I drop a P in a cup of tea, making everything a little bubbly. P.T. It's all the same to me. I drop a P in a cup of tea, just making everything a little bubbly. This true is love. This memory brings a quiet smile to my lips, and I continue up the hill on my search for a quiet place to dig a grave.
Yay! Oh my gosh, I loved it. You guys, this is amazing. No, I love the story. But the song and the ending, y'all, you nailed the ending. Like 10 out of 10. It's start like gymnastics. You nailed it.
So that story is a true story. When my wife and I were watching a little baby boy and put a cup of tea down as we changed his diaper, and he peed right into the cup of tea. Somehow Dan turned that into the perfect song for that little poem.
Okay, so why? That's the first story in the book. So what made you put that one first?
Oh, that's a good question. I kind of wanted to start at the very beginning.
That's good.
And I don't really have an answer to it. That's just, I had written the book and then I added that piece later.
Oh.
And when I first wrote the book, I didn't talk about going to dig a grave up in the woods. And the book was a good book, but I felt it needed some sort of structure that arched up to the whole book, and that was a good way to do that.
No, this one does, because it has this moment of lightness, right? This funny moment that if you're a parent, you can absolutely relate to this situation. I have a son. He went to college this year, so that gives you an idea of how old he is, and yes, can relate to this issue.
Yeah,
but also you ground it. It's grounded in this more serious task that you've been given.
Yeah, and anyone with kids, there's lots of those little moments where your little kids do funny little things completely innocently and unexpectedly, and they're really a treasure to remember those things.
But I do find too that you there are these unexpected things, and it's not just with children, this is just with life, that remind you of other things that if you're trying to explain it to someone, it seems completely unrelated, but for you in that moment it just triggered this memory, and I see that in this story, which I like. Well, wait, we have a question.
Oh, okay.
Where was it? It was back here. What so we're talking about the writing. You talked about your previous jobs in digging, but you also had previous writing jobs, correct?
That's correct. I became a newspaper reporter for the local newspaper for many years. I used to cover school board meetings, municipal meetings, and write just different stories of things that happen in the community. It's really an interesting thing to watch how those wheels of local government work out when people are voting on how to spend money, or they have issues that they bring to a council or a mayor or a school board. And I did that for many, many years. And I also did a lot of business writing along the way. But this is the first book that I've written.
So how do you feel like that previous writing life helped you put this book together? So those are very different types of writing.
Right. A couple of things. When you're writing for the newspaper, you kind of have to get it done. You can't drag your heels too long. Things have to. You're on deadline, and you've got to get through it and do it. and your senses have to be clear and understandable. And so I'm probably a lot of that experience has translated into how I write. A sentence, you need to be able to read it and understand it and be done with it and move on to the next part.
There you go. So how long did it take you to write this book?
Oh my!
Because you just set it up for it not taking very long.
How many minutes?
How many minutes? Millions of minutes. I wrote the book when I was working in a call center, and so we're on.
I'm going to call you.
Oh, you did. One day I answered the phone at the call center was Dan.
I didn't know. But
anyway, in any case, when you're on the phone, you can't do anything else. But when the phones aren't ringing, they didn't seem to care what I did. So I opened up a Word document and just started writing. And it probably took me 6 months or so in that setting to write the book, although I couldn't get paid for writing it. I was at work and I wrote it on that time. But I also went back and revised it and revised and revised. So over a period of years, it took millions of minutes.
Millions of minutes. Well, what's our next selection? Let's see. Nothingness of a Summer Night. Is that what we're?
Nothingness of a Summer Night. And this reading that leads into this song is it recounts some of my relationship, or in my author's relationship with his wife, and then it just fades into a song about sitting around a campfire at night.
I love it. All right, let's hear it.
All right, let me know when you're ready, there, Daniel.
Hey, I'm old.
Okay.
All right.
Give me a chord. I'm 3 feet down, and the French yellow plague is the hard brown pit full of round rocks and stones. Digging under the sun draws down my brow in tiny rivulets. Stings my eyes, and I stop shoveling. Using a bandana wrapped around my wrist, I wipe away the sulfur trickle. From deep inside the red bandana, a faint whiff of patchouli flutters up into my face. It pulls me back into the early courting days of my relationship with Anna. She wore the scent naturally, like a flower wears its fragrance. Like a bee swerving into the garden, she could enter a room and I would know she was there without ever seeing her. In a single inhalation, she was the mystery of the Orient, the wildness of a Cherokee maiden, the smoky passion of India. I was a bike rider back then, a pedaling madman, a lean, mean, spoke-melting machine, a two-wheeled cyclone. She would send me off with a drop or two of her scent absorbed in a bandana, and for days I would drink it in, and then slowly it would fade. Occasionally, maybe 2 months or even later, while racing down some city street or climbing a hill behind a lumbering bus on Penn Avenue, a puff of patchouli would emerge from that bandana, and thoughts of her would fill my head. We spent an eternity in the sweat and fragrance of our youth. Oh, how the years wrap around the memory, like a ball of cotton around a dying ember. Day after day, the thoughts that once consumed me like a flame grow fainter. The joy and the hurt fade. It takes time, but you simply cannot be on fire your whole life long. As you stop feeding the internal fire, it turns into an ember, and time wraps a fuzzy cover around it. Yesterday's urgency fades as today's wants and needs demand your attention, but it never goes away. As I did, I see a dark red ember in the center of a cotton ball, but it is blurred by the white fluff of days and nights past. In the evening, as twilight turns to midnight, Anna and I sit outside on the back patio, letting Time and darkness swallow us up. Sit for hours sometimes without saying a word. We are mesmerized by the magic of a campfire.
Lost in the nothingness of a summer night. Swallowed in a blanket of silver light. Spotted by silhouette, figures of trees against an onyx slate gray sky. He sets me up, finds me at home, fills my eyes and comes of flame and some fiery ballet. All the days were spent slowly away. Touching clouds sail on high, feel the difference between stars. Time stops for a moment, and out to my lost in the nothingness of a summer night, swallowed in a blanket of silver light, dotted by silhouette, figures of trees against an onyx slate gray skies. Watching clouds sail on high, fill the distance between stars. Time stops for a moment, and I wonder as the on embers of the campfire die.
The fire is unselfish, a glorious release of its very life. I take it greedily. Oh, thankfully. It's the kind of quiet I crave after a day full of modern.
Woo! Yay! How much did you guys practice? Let's be real, because
It's the first time we ever played that song.
what?
No, we practiced.
Just a little bit.
Another version in which there's mandolin sounds like a gypsy
Yeah,
campfire.
there's mandolin. In the actual song, there's mandolin, bass, and a lot more to the song.
We couldn't do that tonight, but
But yeah, if you listen to the music, to the CD, you'll hear it. Yeah.
Yes. So everyone who's watching, like, there's a CD. Now, I don't know. You can show of hands in the comments. How many of you at home have a CD player? Well, we do, because the three of us had to like create and listen to it. But in the comments, let me know. Do you have a CD player at home that you could just pop that into? Because I'm interested to see how many of you do. And also, when are you guys going to get this on the internet so that I could just send a link to people?
Right.
To hear these songs.
we're kind of putting all those pieces together, and we'll be able to download the songs and get an ebook and buy the book and all the different parts and pieces. We're slow, but we're getting there.
Oh, you're getting there. So Dan, I have a question for you. You said that Tim sent you some of the stories, and you were just kind of it came to you. But
Right.
where is what's your background? Clearly, you're a musician, but what is your background to come to this project?
My background is actually being a printer. I wasn't a professional musician. I played in bands and stuff, and I had, long hair and used to work, and I was like more of a now it's I haven't really played music for a while, like until I retired, and that's a good place for Tim to send me the music. I retired from being a printer, and I had time, so it's just kind of like my background in music. I've had to love music forever. I mean, we're into all kinds of crazy music, like the progressive fusion music and stuff like that. But I also like, Steve and stuff like that. So
Of course.
So the background is basically just
music.
Just playing. You're just a musician. That's it. Like, I mean, that's like any other art. We tell writers, say you're a writer, like, because people will always try and qualify it. Well, I wrote some here, but I don't have anything published or whatever. Do you write? You're a writer. Do you play an instrument? You're a musician. Do you play? Do you paint? You're a painter. Just say it. So there you go. If you had there's a paycheck job, sure, but you are a musician.
Right.
Well, and there's the song for the book of Dirt, but Dan has hundreds of songs of his own that are all unique,
all unpublished. But whatever.
That's right. If you've got the music, that's what counts, and you're playing it. That's what counts. Okay, so our last selection is going to be every sort, tools of every sort. I was like looking at my own notes. I'm like, what does it say? Yeah, tools of every sort. So let's do it.
Another thing like music, is like Tim's book is about, finding yourself being more like digging is one thing, but music is like that too, in a sense where you find yourself in music too. So it's kind of like the same. I think that's why we write all together, because we're finding.
Yeah, it's the piece that brings the two of you together in this project together. Right. Yeah, I love that.
So okay,
all right, let's
do
finals.
I'm going to give you a little bit of background on this one. The song's a little crazy.
This is a little.
Part of writing the book, I wanted to find out if anyone had really written about digging with a shovel. And so I came across a book by a guy who had written in the 1900s, and he was an efficiency expert. And he'd gone to Bethlehem Steel Company, and he did a very in-depth study of how they use shovels to manage the different materials at the steel mill. And in learning about that, I learned two things. First, the men that he oversaw, and he had them follow his digging techniques. He paid them twice as much money as the other guys, and they were 3 times more productive. And part of that was that they would work at a pace that was sustainable. They wouldn't burn themselves out. Another part of that was it was standard practice at the steel company for a whole bunch of guys to stand around the pile and shovel it into or out of the container. And he found that they always kept only as fast as the slowest guy. So he took everyone and said individually, here's your pile to work on. If you follow my technique, I'll pay you twice as much for how much you get done. The other thing we found out was that those men were optimized. The amount of work that they did made them in great physical shape, and they also, I think, had the benefits of this as a physical therapy, just clearing out their issues and demons and so forth. Very few were drinkers. Very few could sustain that level of work without having leading a pretty good life. They were all family men. They didn't drink. They saved money. They were very successful. One of the things that struck me was, as I'm reading about steel mills, how many things are made out of steel. So this tools of every steel is a little description of products that are made out of steel. Okay, here we go. At the top of the hill, Tom, if you could hit the button. Okay. At the top of the hill, I stumbled on a half circle of oak trees, covering a tiny glade of wildflowers. Yes, this is the spot, and I get to digging. One by one, I dig out the wildflowers and plant them in a heart shape nearby. Removing the topsoil, I begin to dig down, and I have to work harder. I'm glad that I'm using a hand-forged shovel made from high-carbon steel because it will cut through the clay, the roots, and the stone. And I keep on keeping on. The benefits of optimizing oneself using a shovel are of interest to me today. The optimization of the shoveler was also of great interest to others 100 years ago, but for a different purpose. At the cusp of the 20th century, new techniques in steel production led to new types of steel products. Steel railroad cars thundered out of steel mills on steel rails packed with the products of an industrial explosion. Flooding the nation, changing the face of a modern world, making Andrew Carnegie king. Consider a brief list of common steel products used in everyday life. Planes, trains, cranes, tractors, cars, bus and trucks, motorcycles, bicycles, and shooting gallery ducks. Pipeline, power lines, zipline, landmine, skyscrapers, elevators, excavators, refrigerators. Nails, screws, spikes, bolts, needles, nuts, and pins. Rumble blades, digging spades, and a wind turbine that spins. A wind turbine that spins. I said a wind turbine that spins. Slot machines, clothes dryers, sinks, grills, and pans. Razors, scissors, spoons, forks, knives, pots, and cans. All very good bits, tires long and short. Snow shovels, steel, tools of every sort. Yeah, tools of every sort. Heat it, beat it, burn it, smelt it, melt it, shape it, mold it, paint it, pack it, ship it. Put the money in the bank. 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 Woo! Woo!
Did it. That's amazing. I loved it. You're doing an excellent job with like the sound effects too, because you feel it for a moment that we're throwing around metal objects.
We got Patty and Tom in the factory back there.
Like on the CDs,
how many people? You have a whole team over there.
Yeah, we do. We're in a room about as big as a closet here.
right.
You guys want to duck your head in there for a minute?
You should. You deserve to take a bow. Oh my goodness.
Wow. We really are fun here, but we can do it.
No, you get just and your hats, yes.
Okay, here comes Patty. She's in there.
Hello. Excellent job. Excellent job with your sound effects. Amazing job, sir, with your sound effects. Yes, the whole team.
Hey, that's right. I forgot about that.
Don't care. I also we need to know where we can get your shirts.
Oh,
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a rare item.
It's we're spitballing all these ideas. Eventually, you need a link to purchase the shirt. We need the album.
Right.
So
Let's go.
everything must go. Yes. you diversify the portfolio.
Right.
You know, you should get those hats too.
Oh.
It's a whole set. You can.
Yeah.
You need maybe it's like one of those like a Halloween costume where you got a hat, you need the shirt and a shovel, and that's all you need. And if you know, you know, and if you don't get it, that's okay. It's not for you.
Yep.
Well, we had lots of people. I wanted to say Mincy and Cora are here. They say hi.
Hi.
And I'm pretty sure, yeah, there's love the shirts, multiple love the shirts in the comments. I'm pretty sure if you ever made these shirts available, some people. Oh my gosh, there's something on the back.
Oh yeah. That's.
Is he low enough?
I love it.
It's the
Yes.
Yeah,
It's perfect. Yeah, and that's genius. That's excellent work. Update the date on the back of it and then put it on the website and sell it.
All right.
Perfect.
Well, the shirt said "Dirt Up Here," and that's when you read the book, you saw that was a phrase that we used a bunch of different times, and it kind of refers to the fact that the earth has seen everybody and everything come and go, and it'll see us come and go too. As important as you think your world is, you're just a little piece of something of a much bigger machine, and you need to do what you need to do, but don't think that you're the end all and be all.
Yeah, for sure. It's humbling. It's one of the things that comes up in your book is that when you're digging in the dirt and you're meditating, on the whole process. I think that it is a humbling experience to realize, you have this power to move the dirt, but also you're one little piece in this great big world, that we live in. For sure. Well, y'all, thank you so much for joining me for Book Banter. I'm gonna put of course, yes, and Dan, thank you for jumping on board with this. I know that, this is an idea that started. Tim and I were talking, and then I was like, "But can we get him?" Like, he was explaining that you had made these songs, and you were talking about doing it like live at some point. And I was like, "But what if we just have him on the show? Can we do that?" And he's like, "I don't know. Let me ask." And here we are. I'm so glad you said yes.
Yeah, it's been fun.
And everybody watching, I am dropping the link to purchase the book in the comments right now, so you can click there and you can buy that through the Book Banter Books website. We can get them to you, deliver them or ship them. If you don't have one, we will get it to you. And thank y'all for watching and joining us for the first Book Banter 2026. And Tim and Dan, thank you so much.
Thank you as well.
All right, bye y'all.
Bye now.